Welcome to a USC Libraries tutorial on how to cite unusual materials in AMA Citation Style 11th edition. The American Medical Association, or AMA, is a professional physician association who publishes the Journal of the American Medical Association, or JAMA, and specialty journals in the JAMA network. The AMA Manual of Style is created by AMA to provide guidelines for all aspects of formatting and writing style. Its intended users are people submitting manuscripts to JAMA journals and editors and copy editors of JAMA journals producing these publications. The USC Libraries license the AMA Manual of Style online. If you're using AMA Citation Style alone, not AMA manuscript format, you could ignore most of the chapters except for 3, References. This chapter explains what kind of information needs to be cited in manuscripts submitted to JAMA and explains JAMA's opinions about the purpose and role of referencing or citing. The libraries also produce an AMA 11th edition guide that summarizes some of the content regarding citing. The basic purpose of citing is to allow a reader to understand that you did not create this idea, figure, or number, but found it from another source, and there must be enough information provided in the citation to allow a reader to retrieve the item. AMA style rules are to include superscript Arabic numerals next to the text, figure, box, or table that includes the information you did not create, but borrowed from another source. At the end of the document, include a reference list that has full bibliographic references for each cited item in numerical order in the order in which they appear in the text. AMA Citation Style provides extensive rules about how to format these references in the reference list, what information elements to include about an item, whether it is a journal article or book, how to style these elements using italics or abbreviations, and how to connect elements with periods, commas, or other diacritical marks. This is easy enough for citing something common like a journal article or a book. Determine what publication type you are reading, find the explanation, look at the examples, get information from the article or book to produce the citation. If you find yourself wanting to cite UpToDate, a monograph or a portion of a drug information resource like Micromedex or Lexicomp, a website, or other unique or unusual citation types not directly covered in the manual, you won't find a great example. Instead, try using this process. Look at the table of contents for Chapter 3 in the AMA Manual. Open subsections and read closely. Look for a publication type that is like your item in format, access method, purpose, and scholarliness. Make a decision about what publication type or types your item best resembles. Use the examples in the manual and the information from the item to create a citation. Finally, compare your citation to the basic rules appearing in the start of Section 3, or review a list of basic rules in the library's AMA Style Guide and make final adjustments to get as close as possible to AMA style. There are no example citations to the product UpToDate in the AMA Manual, but this is commonly cited in student work. When I think about the format, access method, the purpose, and the scholarliness of UpToDate, I came up with these answers. The format of UpToDate is a website where individual chapters are added and updated on their own schedules. Each chapter is written by one or more healthcare experts, summarizes new research evidence, and provides recommendations for how to diagnose, treat, or manage healthcare problems. The access method is online. The purpose of UpToDate, according to them, is to communicate new research evidence to healthcare practitioners. It is scholarly, not intended to be used by consumers. Because of how I access it, the purpose of the information, the format, and its high level of scholarliness, I think each entry in UpToDate is sort of like a website and sort of like a chapter in an electronic book. There are styles for both these publication types in AMA style. I could choose to use either of these styles alone, or I could choose to make my own hybrid of these two styles. When I viewed this UpToDate entry, I used this information at the top of this chapter and some information from the main UpToDate page to determine what information to put into these sample references. To cite this as a chapter in a book, I found the name of the chapter author and also the name of the overall book editor. I pretended that UpToDate was the name of the electronic book, so it needed to be italicized and stated that it was published in just the year of 2024. To cite this as a website, I decided that UpToDate was the name of the website and didn't need to be italicized. But when you cite a website in AMA style, you do need to include the month and day that it was updated. After doing these two examples, I was a little unhappy with both. I didn't think the book style explained that this really actually was updated just a few months ago. I didn't think the website style really explained why UpToDate is a scholarly source. I made up a style that combines the book and website style to make this clear to my readers that this is a scholarly, clinical source. One really big question is, why did I make these URLs look like this when most of the time the URLs you get from library-licensed online sources include additional data? Well, I'm following these rules which appear in the manual. Try to make your URLs work for the reader. Don't use long strings, don't use extra characters. These extra characters in the URL are UpToDate are for USC users only and are confusing to read. To remove them allows me to follow AMA rules more precisely. Anyone clicking this link will be shown the start of this page, and if they subscribe, they can log in and access it. You are the only one who can make this choice of which format to follow or to combine two or more styles. As you review websites made by librarians interpreting the AMA manual, or look at reference lists and published articles, you'll see differences in how people interpret the rules of AMA to produce citations to these unusual formats of publications. Drug monographs or other items retrieved from Micromedex, Lexicomp, or other drug information compendia are often cited using a combination of website and book styles. Here are examples from some library websites. Notice how these citations sometimes include the name of the drug and the book of the compendia, and sometimes do not. Some include the full URL, and others include the general URL to Micromedex's homepage. You can see different people read different parts of the manual and weigh its advice differently. Websites are often difficult to cite in AMA style, as the manual provides this list of data to include, but does not provide a lot of help on how to determine what is the title of the item or the name of the website, or what to do if these are the same. Here are some worked examples of librarians trying to provide AMA-formatted example citations to pages from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Notice how they organize elements in different orders, and make different choices about what is the title of the site. Remember the first statement about references in AMA style. The ultimate purpose of a reference list entry is to allow the person reading the citation to find and access the cited item. In my opinion, while slightly different, any of these examples shown in this video would fulfill this need. They also all try to follow the style elements of AMA, using italics, parentheses, colons, periods, abbreviations, capitalizations, DOIs, and URLs in a way that tries to be consistent with AMA's overall rules. Because of the elements of choice inherent in so many parts of citing AMA style, libraries are not able to create references for you or verify the accuracy of AMA style references you have created or found. You can contact the libraries to get help with other aspects of citing and referencing, like determining what types of publication an item is, help figuring out the elements of a citation, or where to find DOIs, URLs, or other information needed to create a reference in AMA style.